Hey guys, true confessions, I am sick of school at this point and I'm still doing it. I don't want you guys to freak out and think that I don't educate my kids. I'm just saying it's January and I'm tired of it. And I know that both January and February tend to be those really kind of, you just have to slog through it months and it's not a ton of fun. I hope you're still super excited about school, or maybe you're doing this at some other time of the year and watching this video then. But if you are watching this right now, just know that if you're struggling with school, you're not alone. I don't care about insects at this point in my life, but we're gonna learn about them because you just do have to push through some of the hard times. And I know, because I've done this so many years, this is just normal. January, February are not great, exciting months. We get through them, and then March, everything starts feeling better. Everything starts being much more exciting, and I'm really motivated to do a lot more. So if you're kind of down in the dumps and not really excited about insects, that's fine. You can do this. You don't have to do this, but I'm just going to let you know what we're doing for science in this month, and then next month we're going to be doing birds. So starting off in January, we're going to study butterflies. Now, butterflies are actually really kind of cool because they have this different life cycle where they change what they look like, and they live in the chrysalis for a while, and then they come out and have this completely different image, and their whole life changes. You know, they were on the ground before and all they did was eat, and now they're butterflies and they're beautiful and they're able to fly around and bring joy to everybody, and just the sky is for you and is available for everything you do. It's just a really exciting metaphor for life in a lot of ways, especially when you're dealing with children, that they often feel like they can't quite do all the things that they want to do. And so learning about butterflies and dragonflies and things that go through the same process of growth can be a really exciting thing for them to say that this is not always how it's going to be for you. There's going to be a time when you're going to be able to do things that right now you can't do. You cannot cook on the stove. That's just, you're not quite old enough to do that. Or maybe there's some, you can't drive a car, right? There are things that you can't do right now that will become available to you as you grow older. So in that way, learning about butterflies is really good for me as an adult. I don't know that my kids do that. I don't know that my 8 and my 10-year-old are going to look at this and see some sort of psychological meaning and metaphor for their lives. They're probably just going to be excited to make the crafts that we do with this. But I just, sometimes I have to hold on to those ideas, especially in January when it's not very fun to teach. So I just have to remember it's not always going to be like this. It's going to be good again as well for me. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to ask the question, butterflies use their feet to taste. I did not know this. So if they land on you, it may be because they're hungry and you looked tasty. And if you tasted through your feet, what would you be tasting right now? And I'm a little scared of the answers that they're going to come up with, but it's also exciting. It's just this idea of, hey, can you put yourself in the mindset of being a butterfly? How cool would that be? And how cool would it be to taste with your feet? I have a book. I don't have it with me right now, but I'm going to get it from the library. It's just called Insects. I believe it's a DK book. And we're going to be reading pages 34 and page 24 and talking about the life cycle of a butterfly. Then we're going to be watching a video that is just about the life cycle of a butterfly, because of all the cool things that a butterfly does, its life cycle has got to be the coolest. So we're really going to focus in on that. And as our activity, we're actually going to make a flip-flap book. So I'm going to have to just print that out beforehand and get some crayons, and that will be a great hands-on crafting activity so that they can really get in there and enjoy the idea of butterflies. So that is week 1. Moving on to week 2, we're dealing with mobility at this point because bugs, man, they can do amazing things. Some of them jump really, really far, and some of them are able to fly. Some of them, they just have abilities to do things as far as mobility that we really don't have as humans. And so it can be really fascinating to study what they're able to do here. So our curiosity question is, do bugs have muscles? And where are bugs' bones? Because they don't have bones, right? They have an exoskeleton. And maybe the kids know that, maybe they don't, but then we're really going to get into that and talk about how things, how our skeleton works to keep our shape properly in order, and then how an exoskeleton performs the same function for a bug. And then we're going to get back into that insect book. We're going to do pages 6 through 8, and then there's a video called Bug Sports. And that actually, I think there are several different videos in that and several different activities associated, but you get to see all the different exciting things that bugs can do with their mobility. And then our activity, my 16-year-old actually offered to do this because I could not come up with an activity for insects. I just didn't want to have them in my house. And he said, hey, listen, I will do this for you. So benefit of homeschooling, I just pawned this off on him. He's going to have the kids go out, have them find 5 different types of bugs each, which they will love doing. They're going to observe them, and then they're going to tell something interesting about each of them. And that is all going to be, my 16-year-old will do that. He will take them outside, he will help them find the bugs, he will talk about all the interesting stuff with them. And that is actually a really good fit for him because he's really into biology and botany and all the sciences. He likes all of that kind of stuff. And so he's going to really enjoy doing that with the kids. They're going to enjoy it because they really love bugs. They actually go outside and look at bugs quite often. So fabulous, you guys go out there, do that. And I don't know what I'll do, but not that. Then we're going to move on to week 3 when we're learning about their eyes, because a lot of bugs have fascinating ways that they see that we do not. It's a very different visual experience that they have compared to what we do. For the curiosity question, we're going to say, how many eyes do bees have? I did not know this. They have 5. I thought they had way more than that. They have 5. Which animal has the best sight? So that really kind of depends on what you're looking for in sight. Is that the longest sight? Is that the clearest sight up front? Is that the ability to have the biggest, I don't know what that's called, where you can see things around you the most? You know, what makes something the best sight? So that will probably be a part of the discussion as well. We will be doing that same book, Insects, pages 14 through 17. And then there's a video. Which animals have the best sight? And I think that video actually goes into all of those questions of what makes it the best and what, you know, compound eyes, especially, it talks about compound eyes and how we just do a really poor job of explaining what compound eyes are when we take a bunch of straws and hold it up to our eyes and say, well, this is what it is. You get all these bunch of basically the same picture but broken up a whole bunch of times. And he said that would be really dumb and kind of useless. Why would we think that that is how compound eyes work? That it's much more like a Jason Bourne situation where they're in the control room and they have all these different videos and they can see all sorts of different stuff going on, and each little compound eye has a lot of that information, and it's complete. You know, it's not a repeat of all the other screens. It's able to have lots and lots of information that it's bringing in. So compound eyes are way cooler than I realized they were. Then for our activity, I'm looking at this and realizing I do not have this lens. I need to go buy it. We are going to actually make compound eyes. The closest that we can get is a multifaceted lens. And so it's better than just looking through straws and seeing the same thing. It will give you more of an idea of seeing something different through each lens, but it's not exactly perfect. It's hard to come up with something like that because we just don't have anything like that. Our eyes do not function that way. But we're going to use a multifaceted lens and then flour or bright crumpled up paper, and then we'll be able to look at that flower through that multifaceted lens and kind of see how they might be perceiving the world around them, and how that could be a good thing and how that might be limiting in how they're viewing things and how it might help them. You know, insects do different things with their time. And so how does having multifaceted eyes help an insect perform its life functions? And the other thing that we're going to do for our activity actually doesn't have to do with compound eyes, but it's on that same PDF that I'm going to link in the description. And I thought it was really fascinating because it is talking about insects and how they perceive things. So you take a bunch of either BBs, or I'm going to have some airsoft little pellets, and you stick them in a spoon and you just kind of look at the pattern that it makes. Does it make a zigzag pattern? Does it make an actual square like a cube? Does it make that hexagonal sort of shape that you see in the bee's honeycomb? And usually it's going to make that shape, right? And so the kids will do it over and over and over and kind of keep track of how many times it lands on each of these, so that they can see the pattern that nature just naturally selects for being an efficient way of assembling circles. And when they do that, then we'll be able to have the discussion and say, you know, why do balls land in that particular shape, and how does that help insects? Why do bees use that particular shape to be able to make their beehive? And you do see it in nature a lot. So be able to have that discussion around those BBs and how they land. And that is actually all I have for January. I know that I am putting out this video really, really late. I'm not going to completely bore you guys with all the things that are going on in my life, but I'm just going to say, It's been busy around here. I've been having a hard time getting things turned out, and I know that that is hard on you if you were relying on this, and so I really apologize for that. I only have these 3 weeks in January because I anticipated having only 3 weeks available to accomplish things when you take off that first week for the New Year's, and I also knew that I was going to be out of town, and so I wasn't going to have as much time to work with. So I only have those 3 weeks. I hope that you can use them. I hope this didn't mess you up too much having this be so late. Next month, I believe I have an entire 4-week segment when we're talking about birds. But for now, I hope whether you are having a hard time slogging through like I am, or if you are just really excited about learning everything, including about insects, I hope that you're having a really great time with homeschooling. What you're doing matters on a level that it's really, really hard to measure at all. It's kind of like that ripple in the pond. Somebody throws that rock and it's just one impact point, but the ripples go on and on and on, and they just continue going for so long. That's what being a mom and being a dad is. It has that impact that goes on and on long after we realize that the one thing that we did is over and done, but it's still affecting our kids in so many ways, and it affects the people around us as well. I have seen so many moms and so many dads just extend the umbrella of their love to so many people. That matters. It matters in a way that is impossible to measure, and you are doing a much better job than you think you are. This impact that you have is immeasurable, and it's unending. So keep it up. It is really, really important. Even if it is January, it's still really important to teach the kids and to create an environment where learning and loving each other is such an integral part of education. Thank you, and I will see you on the next one.